On the news tonight, Muslim cleric enjoins faithful to adhere to the teachings of Almighty Allah. Torrential flood submerges houses at Trademore Estate in Abuja. And FCT Commissioner of Police says nothing will be left to chance during the Salah festivities. Hello, very good evening. Thanks for joining us on Nta Channel 5 News at 7. I am Miriam Emeka-Madi. The pathway of life through the celebration of Eid is that the faithful must imbibe and pass the message from generation to generation and adhere to the teachings and guidance of Almighty Allah. In his Juma sermon, Ansarudin Society Mission Board Abuja, Zikrullahi Abiodun enjoined Muslim faithful to emulate the life of the Holy Prophet. Hawa Gimba reports.
As Muslim faithful prepares for yet another historic celebration of the Eid Kabir, Muslim faithful have been tasked not to forget the importance of the celebration, as it will serve as a guide towards daily pursuits in service to Allah and humanity. Secretary, Mission Board of Ansarudin Society, Abuja, Zikrullahi Abiodun Anofi, tasked Muslims to ensure the measures put in place for the celebration are adhered to. He called for prayer for the nation.
It is after the Imam have killed his ram that everybody will go to their homes and kill their own ram. The slaughtering of the Imam symbolized the beginning of that everybody could be able to slaughter their ram.
He further advised Muslim faithful not to eat before going for the Eid prayers, but to do so when the slaughter of the ram has been done. Hawagimba, NTA News.
And on environmental issue, residents of Trademore Estate in Lugbe area of Abuja are still counting their losses after a flood submerged houses and trapped people for several hours. Although no life was lost, the flood overwhelmed the residents as joint rescue efforts paid off to save lives of affected persons. Details will come to you in a subsequent bulletin. The Director General of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Abbas Idris, has said no life was lost to the early morning flood at the Trademore Estate, Lugbe Airport Road. In a statement signed by the head Public Affairs, FEMA, Nkechi Issa, Abbas Idris commiserated with victims of the flooding. He, however, regretted that 116 houses were submerged during the heavy floods, noting that the floods at the Trademore Estate were caused by infractions on the water channel. Idris appealed to residents whose houses are built on the water channel to relocate. According to FEMA boss, Trademore Estate is on the water channel and therefore vulnerable to floods. He stated that the floods have receded and therefore appreciated all stakeholders and residents for their efforts and cooperation at the estate to ensure that no life was lost. He dismissed as untrue social media reports alleging that a resident of the estate was missing during the floods, noting that Nigeria Hydrological Service Agency had predicted heavy floods in the FCT this rainy season. And on humanitarian angle, succor anchored on sustainable empowerment came the way of widows in various communities in Abuja as Kadash Empowerment Foundation equipped them with vocational skills and relief materials as part of activities to mark the 2023 International Women's Day. Aisha Bashir reports.
These categories of Nigerians are the focus of Kadash Empowerment Foundation as a non-governmental organization in helping government to alleviate poverty of the less privileged or disadvantaged, according to the founder.
God put it on us and He saddled us with the responsibility of catering in our own little way to the alleviating of poverty and providing support for widows as well as orphans.
These are vulnerable people that should be given a topmost priority in our society. In recruitment into government employment cycle, their children should be given first priority.
One of the beneficiaries, a mother of two, told NTA News crew that the 2-day training, startup kits, stipend, and relief materials given have transformed her life.
Widows are usually neglected in the society and they face a lot of situations, especially in an African nation. So many terrible things happen. Then Chadas came and empowered us last year. And to the glory of God, it turned my life around a little bit because the financial situation and constraints was reduced.
It's an experience that can only be imagined. But again, it's been fine. More so if you have a job as a widow. You need to organize yourself, put a lot of things together.
Benefiting communities are chosen based on reports gathered to that effect from their research and outreach unit. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the enormous challenges faced by women who have lost their husband necessitated United Nations decision to mark a day annually to identify and create awareness to their plight with a view to improving their livelihood. Momso Daniel Dati in this report takes us through this year's International Widows' Day.
The 23rd of June is the day chosen by the United Nations internationally as Day of Widows. It was launched in 2010 to raise awareness on the violations of the rights of these women who have lost their husbands, as well as ratify action against the injustices meted out on them.
Practices such as shaving of hairs, wearing of black or white clothes, sleeping and sitting on the bare floor or mat in the dark, being refrained from bathing for a number of days, seclusion and being made to drink corpse bathing water. According to the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, any person who subjects a widow to harmful practices commits an offense and will be sent to prison for up to 2 years or pay a fine of up to 500,000 naira.
To this end, key players ensure this year's event leaves fond memories and the minds of the widows.
Addressing social stigmas that create exclusion and discriminatory or harmful practices, and training in vocational skills of their interests.
Enact a law that will protect all the widows all over Nigeria. Widows are suffering. If I open my mouth,
if the world has come to an end, assist the widow whenever you come by one.
Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
And back to our earlier report on the Trademore estate, where we say that no life was lost in the flood. The flood overwhelmed the residents. A joint rescue effort paid off to save lives to affected persons. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
It's been a tragic Friday in the nation's capital, Abuja, after hours of ceaseless rainfall.
From the morning hours, the rain in torrents gathered momentum as the flowing water overflew its banks to submerge houses and cars on transit. A situation that validates expertise prediction that puts the FCT among the red line flood state.
People's cars have been drowned there by the water. So the people around tried all they could to make sure they save lives, but they tried their best. Just that their best is not enough. We're just hoping that in such scenario, an action will be taken, a proper action to prevent future occurrence.
Gradually and steadily, eyewitness said, the water became overwhelming, destroying properties.
It's a sad situation right now, and what we have is, at the moment, there's a lot of damage to people's materials, but this is a perennial issue. It comes on every year, and there are solutions to this. And as far as I'm concerned, until that solution is addressed, we're going to have this every year.
I was actually going to the airport, so I called an Uber man because I didn't want to drive. I was having problems with GPS in my car. So by the time we got to that bridge there, the water came up to tire level, so we were thinking probably it's normal rainwater. Then gradually again, within 1 minute, It came to window level and almost submerged the car. So at that point, we wanted to get out. The doors couldn't really open. But we were able to open it with force. By the time we opened it, the water had already filled the top of the car. So we had to swim to, I had to swim to that side, and I climbed that pillar there.
Emergency respondents and residents joined forces that helped rescue and evacuated many persons to safety ground. Assessments of the damage were still ongoing as at the time of filing in this report. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Anti-security issue now. The Commissioner of Police, FCT, Haruna Garba, says the command will leave no stone unturned in the build-up to the Eid al-Adha festivities. CP Haruna gave this assurance while addressing area commanders and DPOs as part of operational order and deployment for Eid celebration at the command headquarters, Abuja. Security correspondent Onotu Yakubu reports.
It has often been echoed that with coordinated strategies aided with credible intelligence from members of the public, security agencies can address the pockets of crime and make the nation's capital safe for all law-abiding citizens. This meeting seeks to achieve these target objectives and as well ensure that residents observe the festive season with utmost peace and tranquility. Commissioner of Police Haruna Gabriel charged operatives of the command to redouble efforts to deliver on mandate through sustained coordinated offensives against crime to give FCT residents respite.
That the residents of FCT will observe the festival without any harassment from any criminal, so that they can celebrate the festivity without much problems.
Recently, the menace of kidnapping in suburbs and local communities reared its ugly head. To this, the CP told the area commanders and DPOs to double up, re-strategize crime-fighting coordination, and halt the challenge to a standstill.
We will not rest in our hours, even though crime, they say, is part of human civilization and their habitation. We cannot eliminate it completely, but we will try the most we can to ensure that crime and criminality is mitigated.
The security agencies said their mission in the days ahead will be to ensure that every FCT resident celebrate the Eid festivity unperturbed by any form of threat to security. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And from security to education, the ultimate search for excellence in the head-to-head debate put together by the FCT Universal Basic Education Board is still ongoing, as 13 out of 30 schools earlier picked dealt on topical issues bothering the country. Details with Mariam George Jetubo.
FCT
Call it sieving the chaff from the wheat, and you may not be wrong, as the FCT Universal Basic Education Board brought together these brains that stood out after the first preliminary round of the FCT UBEB head-to-head debate competition. Special Advisor on Media to the Secretary, FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Kalu Ifeanyi, says the debate this time around is to pick the best from the best.
We want to leave that era of cramming. We want to discourage it. That's why you see when we have a topic, you see me bouncing on the student to bring the best out of them.
The students gave in their best by exhibiting the stuff they are made of.
People in JS3 now
came for this debate and they were giving scholarship. And me too, I want to have scholarship. So I will impress my teacher, I will impress my parents, and I will impress myself.
I like this debate because it has helped me to be able to face my fear in public and object other people and meet with other people from different parts of Abuja.
It's important to me because it will also help me to build my self-confidence in speaking in public.
The FCT head-to-head debate competition still continues until the best 10 that will go to the reality house emerge. Mariam George, Jitubo, NTA News.
And on to family issue now. A two-day program of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Strengthening Family Conference has ended with a call on families to act as exemplary models of good and upright society. The annual event, with participants from Nigeria and other parts of the world, is one of the several interventions by the Church to inculcate and spread positive ideas and virtues of good Christian morals for all humanity. Rosemary Moteleng Bilal has more.
The conference had Christians and some Muslim faithful who were present to share views and proffer solutions to contentious areas in family life, which often lead to breakdowns which affect the immediate family and the society.
I've learned that families should have a mutual communication, as a spouse. You should have a communication between you and your other spouse. It's very important in a relationship.
Speakers enjoined the church to continue in doing good as reflected in the character of Jesus Christ.
A brother and sister. We do this because we believe that we are all spirit children of a loving God, and we are part of this worldwide brotherhood and sisterhood of God's children. We encourage you to make God your partner in marriage, and in that way, you can truly become one in your love for Him and one in your love for each other.
Through this conference, our hearts can become united, and the people of West Africa will benefit for generations from the insights gathered here.
The organizers expressed their gratitude for the success recorded in the tackling the issues raised at the conference, with the hope that society will be better off.
Specifically, the theme, which is strengthening marriages, was chosen after looking at the various cases of divorces that is now very rampant. Our hope is that we will be able to reduce that divorce rate at least by 20% starting from this year.
And you can't have a happy family if you don't have a happy marriage. So what we have done is to facilitate this belief we have by bringing in organizations that share the same belief to also be a part of this conference, irrespective of their religions.
Panelists, while reviewing contributions of speakers, emphasized the need for peaceful homes.
Nigerians will say, you don't see me finish because I didn't live with you. All the things you've read in books, all the lectures you've heard will add up to a good marriage.
But before I married my wife, I knew she was temperamental.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is known for their care for family needs. Rosemary Moteleng Bilal, NTA News.
Let's now join the sports desk for Sports Brief.
The Nigeria Handball Federation has announced that the National Handball Premier League now has a new sponsor. This development was brought to the fore when the sponsor signed a 3-year deal with the top-tier handball league in Lagos, Nigeria. To this end, it will now adopt the sponsor's name, says Chairman Alhaji Abdulwasiu Suwami. Talking football, Chelsea Football Club owners have sealed the deal of owning another football outfit in the French league. A consortium led by American business Todd Boehly and US-based Thursday sealed a deal to take control of Strasbourg. The deal includes the first team in the academy, all in the continuity of the project implemented by Mark Keller, who remained chairman of the club. More so, former Watford and Manchester United striker Odion Ighalo has indicated high interest to play in the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL). Ighalo, who is currently in the transfer market as a free agent, after the expiration of his contract with Saudi Arabia outfit Al Hilal. If security is guaranteed, good coverage is assured, and better officiating, I definitely will play. With Sports Brief, Gideon Yohana, NTA News.
And that's it on the English news. Stay for translation.
Gaje we shaje wo wona bi ku shagbada yi wa na ba shi bada yi wo mu praises ayuba won wa go na baji gai anabaji asida inge sala idil inge adhar akmadanya bamanai okono inge eza wa vi sala bagbatu we wo inge wo wu wa bi sala ji efie manai dado onwa azai ba go du fi sala fe kwanyi nyalo ba wo shokoyi na hawajin ba wada inge babye nu sala gabe inge sikiru lai abiodun bai dai sanu nwo bai gin juma wi sala busi in asaruddin asalajin ba ake zai wagodo nge asalajin apmanu oza wa fi ye shoko ye fenu ya muhammad apata manai wi agodo awu abi ba ku shoko ye giwe na ba ya sase fi kiye ndagba na je yuku anabaji bwa nge aza ba sase filo ayaku bage trade mo anya yin ko lolo lugbe sapa ki zid na yin ku anya bunuwa omwa bage shenwa bage fiba na puwa mi nlo je taji chetu shetnu abdullahi ajiya ya na baji go ngai wada nge nuwa ku aza nwafi ba puwa mi to koye nge ba kunbin aza na ba majin sheko ku majin atabwa aza ba jin saji fi ba abakpe ya nge anaya ku ye mukpelo nanu afenu bala ignat nu bwa nge sasa hivya dudu mama sai itama ya kupe nanu afenu yivi gwamnati bagbatu ya gin ya ekinsit na abu sabida zana gma ye haruna garba wada inge abu sabida baku aguga bashin batutun she ko kunche na insala idil agmadanya ye kwenyi onoto yakubu wada inge zana gma ye be dabada da sanu wa be dabo onwo abu sabida azana gma akpe yenya na do onwo aji aku ayo kai yei wo daba nge wala gbagbotu gababa gaza ajila ba shi batutu na nsala ayo foi nko bele na ba ta abwa banu ko ko ba kpai ngi ayo foi na ba ko bele magba ja na ba ji kuzo iba ja ro ko na shi kwasi sai so
masu kallon mu barkanmu da mace ga fasarar takaitattun labarai mai karantawa Isiyaku Buhari Suleja. A hudubar da aka gudanar a masallacin Juma'a na Ansaruddin, wakiliyarmu Awa Gimba ta rawaito mana cewa limamin masallacin Zikirullah Abedu ya jawo hankulan masallata game da mahimmancin bikin sallah babba da kuma abubuwan da ya kamata a jajirce wajen yawaita ibadu don neman lada. Daga ƙarshe an yi wa ƙasa da kuma shugabannin addu'o'i na ci gaban ƙasa da kuma zaman lafiya. An bayyana cewa mazauna rukunin gidaje na Trademo da ke Gulbe na ci gaba da kirga asarar da suka yi bayan samun ambaliyar ruwa da aka yi. Wakilinmu Abdullahi Ajiya ya rawaito mana cewa bayan samun ambaliyar ruwa mazaunan sun yi asarar ababuwa da dama, babu wanda ya rasa rai, domin jama'a da dama sun taimaka wajen ceto mutanen da abin ya shafa. Kwamishinan 'yan sanda na babban birnin tarayya Haruna Garba ya bayyana cewa za su bayar da ingantaccen tsaro a lokacin gudanar da bukukuwar sallah. Wakilinmu Onotu Yakubu ya ruwaito mana cewa ya bayar da tabbacin haka ne a lokacin da yake yi wa manyan jami'an 'yan sanda jawabi game da shirin baza jami'ansu a lokacin bikin sallar a hedikwatar 'yan sanda da ke Abuja. Amma ƙarshen fasarar takaitattun labarai kenan, mu kwana lafiya.
oge akwụkwọ were kwala ọzọ Chisom Nwokafọ na ya na nke abalị a iji hụ na emume Eid pụtara na ndụ mmadụ. Onye okpe Islam ọbụla kwesịrị ịhụ na akụziri ọgbọ na-abịa n'ọdịnihu nkụzi ndị kwesịrị ekwesị tinye ịhụ na ha rubere isi n'ozi nakwa nlekọta nke ala a. Rawagimba sonye n'ekpere Jumat nke taa mabata akụkọ na onye ode akwụkwọ Ansarudeen Mission Board Zulkifli Abiodun n'oge ọ na-eme nkụzi ihe n'ekpere Jumat taa kpọkụrụ ndị okpe a ka ha ṅomie ndụ nke onye amadi nsọ ebe o jikwa ohere a chetara ha mkpa ọ dị ikpere ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa ekpere. Ndị bi na oge ụlọ ọgbara ọhụrụ Tredmore nke dị n'obodo Lugbe nke Abuja ka na akụkọ ihe ndị ha tụfuru dịka ihe ọghọm nke ide mmiri kpuchiri ụlọ ha ma gbochie ndị mmadụ ịpụta n'ezite aka. Abụlaghaji onye ọrụ anyị nọrọ n'ogbe a ma kwuo na enweghị onye nwụrụ n'ihe ọghọm a ebe ide mmiri a karịrị akarị ma ndị enyemaka batabata jikọrọ aka ọnụ mere ike ha iji nyere ndị ihe ọghọm a metụtara. Onye isi ndị uwe ojii n'obodo abụọ FCT Haruna Garba ekwuola na ụlọ ọrụ ndị uwe ojii n'obodo a agaghị enye ohere maka ọrụ nchekwa dị ala dịka ha na-akwado maka inyezi nchekwa maka emume Eid al-Adha. Onye ọrụ anyị na-akọ nchekwa Ọnọtụ Yakubu na-akọ akwụ na onye isi ndị uwe ojii mere ka nke a pụta ihe n'oge ọ na-agwa ndị isi uwe ojii n'obodo a okwu dịka otu izu ime nhazi ọrụ nchekwa maka emume a n'isi ụlọ ọrụ ha na Abuja ebe ha kwekọrịta na onye ọbụla n'obodo a ga-eme emume a na-enweghị egwu ọbụla. Ka anyị bụ ọnụchi ndewo.
ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí gbòyìn láti lè ṣàmúhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún l'Àbújá. Ọláyínká Adéníjì ni oníròyìn yín. Ọ̀nà àbáyọ tó dájú sí ìgbésí ayé ọmọ ẹ̀dá látàrí ayẹyẹ ọdún Ìdí ni kí àwọn múmìnì àti mímìnà ó gbà kí wọ́n ó sì rí dájú pé wọ́n kéde ọ̀rọ̀ yìí gbákàgbìyàn kí wọ́n sì rọ̀ mọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ àti àkóso Allah nínú wáàsí rẹ̀ lónìí níbi ìrun Jímọ̀ tó wáyé ní Dikri Lai Abiodun tí ìjọ Ansarudeen tó wà nílùú Àbújá rọ àwọn jọ̀mọ́ tó wà níbẹ̀ láti rọ̀ mọ́ ìgbésí ayé òjíṣẹ́ ńlá gẹ́gẹ́ bí Àwà Gímbà aṣojúkọ̀rin wa ṣe jábọ̀. Àwọn olùgbé ìletò Tredmore tó wà ní agbègbè Lugbe nílùú Àbújá ni wọ́n wà nínú ìrora àti ìbànújẹ́ látàrí ọ̀gbàrá tó gbómi yalé ya ṣọ́ọ̀bù wọn tí ọ̀nà sì sé mọ́ àwọn ènìyàn míì fún àìmọye ìgbà. Aṣojúkọ̀ròyìn wa Abdullahi Ajiya jábọ̀ wípé bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé kò sí ẹ̀mí tó ṣòfò bí àgbàrá yìí ṣe pọ̀ tó, ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ ìrànlọ́wọ́ àwọn elétò ààbò ló mú kí wọ́n gba ẹ̀mí àwọn ènìyàn là. Kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá fún ìlú Àbújá Haruna Garba ti ṣàlàyé pé àwọn kò ní figbá kan bọ̀kan nínú rárá títí ààbò tó péye yóò fi kẹsẹ̀ járí nínú ayẹyẹ Ìdí ìlàhà tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà yìí. Aṣojúkọ̀ròyìn wa Ọnọtú Yakubu jábọ̀ wípé kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá yìí fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí múlẹ̀ nígbà tó ń bá àwọn lọ́gàálọ́gàá ọlọ́pàá sọ̀rọ̀ ní olú iléeṣẹ́ wọn lórí ètò ààbò àti ọ̀nà àbáyọ nígbà ayẹyẹ ọdún iléyá tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà yìí. Tó lóyún àwọn kò ní jù báyìí lọ ká wà láyé ká wà láàyè wa gbogbo akámáríre ọkọ̀ọ̀kan láwùjọ kásùn láyọ̀.